Yo, what is up YouTube? And today we're going to be talking all about this unit that you see on your screen here, Savior Adin. Now, Savior Adin is a 3-star Moonlight unit who actually cannot be summoned. She is the specialty change of the main character of Episode 4, Regular Adin, and she is going to be obtained by beating Episode 4 10-10 and doing the quests required. It is quite tedious, but it is extremely worth it because Savior Adin is one of the best units in the game while being free to play. So looking at Savior Adin's skills very quickly to understand why she's so good, let's actually look at her S3 first. It is a single target attack that will give everyone invincibility except for herself for 1 turn, and this penetrates defense by 50%. Now this skill hits extremely hard. You could actually one-shot a lot of dark units because of the fact that if you actually look in the runes here, you can see that when using Smite of Salvation, which is S3, if the target is a dark elemental unit, you'll increase damage by 20%. Also, the cooldown will go down as well, so she's pretty good against dark units, but even against non-dark units, the still will hit extremely hard. Next we have our S2. It is going to be a passive 50% evasion buff, and after successfully evading, you will counter attack with Blade Gust. Now Blade Gust is going to be a attack that can only be activated every 2 turns, so fairly often, and this attack is an AoE attack that does a Dispel 1 buff effect, and this also hits extremely hard as well. And this is one of the biggest reasons why Savior Adin is so good, because she is super tanky because of her innate evasion. Now obviously if she doesn't invade, she will die pretty easily because she's a thief, but in most scenarios, when she does end up evading, she is extremely annoying because of her S2 also actually giving her that extra damage and stripping buffs. And you're also going to see that in the runes here, it'll give you a 100% chance to remove 5 souls from the enemy and also give her attack buff, which is super annoying to deal with. Next we have our S1, single target attack, will have a 75% chance to make the enemy unbuffable, and also you can soul burn this for only 10 souls to increase that effect chance to 100% and make the enemy unbuffable for 2 turns instead of 1. You're also going to see from the runes, when using your S1, you have a 100% chance to recover 20% of the damage dealt, so she does have built-in sustain for an evasion unit, which is pretty rare, and it makes her a lot more sticky and a lot more annoying to deal with. This skill also hits extremely hard, one of the hardest hitting S1s in the game, which makes her an extremely powerful damage dealer that has evasion capabilities, which makes her very annoying and tanky, and she also has lifesteal in her S1, and she also has an S3 that can give your team invincibility while being able to one-shot tanky dark units. So yeah, as you guys can see, her kit is pretty overloaded, which makes her very good. She's going to be very good in PvE for Abyss and just in general content because of her high damage output while being very tanky, and also applying that invincibility buff for your team so you can soak more damage. And in PvP, she is one of the best units in the game right now. She can be used in any team composition. She's good for cleavers, she's good against cleavers, she's good for turn 2, she's good for tank down players. She's very versatile because of the fact that she can be built in many ways and because her kit is so powerful. You will see her pretty often in Guild Wars defense, although not as much as before because there are some counters to her that can, deal with evasion units, but most often you'll see her paired with specialty change Airwell because they synergize very well with light units. She's going to be seen more often in arena defense though, as you guys can see on your screen here in Champion at the start of the week. On my first page that I actually opened up to, we have 4 Savior Adins on the board, right, all paired with SC Airwell, because Specialty Change Airwell actually works very well with light units with her runes. It makes them more tankier, and also Savior Adin will also be better with light units as well, and she's just very good into dark units. If you bring a dark unit to actually soak the Unbound Knight Airwell stun, your Savior Adin will just S3 them and pretty much one-shot them, which makes her super annoying. And of course we have that evasion built in her kit, which makes her just super sticky and just very annoying to fight on defenses. Now her build is mostly going to come down to your playstyle. So the most common builds are going to be either a 200 speed Adin built on full damage on destruction set, where you don't really care about her bulkiness to nuke dark units like Apoc Ravi and Meter Cowrick, or like mine, which is on a lifesteal set, which is more consistent but has less damage. But if you plan to use her in standard long fights, she's going to be way better because her bulk will make it so that even if you actually don't evade, you can actually survive, and on your next turn, if you actually S1 or S3, you can lifesteal pretty much the full HP, which is, in my opinion, just more consistent in longer fights. You can add more bulk if you like. Honestly, I think aiming for 12k HP while keeping 1k defense is going to be your best bet, and dropping some damage, obviously because of that. And this will be better for the lifesteal variant. For the destruction set variant, I think just going full damage is okay. Now, some people also like to run her on 240-ish speed on speed set if they like to run her fast as a nuker, or like to pick her in cleave. Now, you might be wondering, why is she good in cleave, right? If you look at her skills, like, she doesn't have AoE, she doesn't have setup, she is pretty greedy of a unit, right? The only thing she supports her team with is this S3 invincibility buff, but if you're trying to win very early, why does this matter? Now, the reason why people pick her with cleave is because you want to take her away from enemies in RTA. Sounds kind of funny, kind of counterintuitive, but the reason why cleavers pick Savior Adin is they pick her first pick, which doesn't reveal that they're cleaving, and then the enemies will pick standard, units that don't really counter cleave too much, and then after that you reveal cleave in your second pick, third pick, or your third pick, fourth pick, whatever pick side you are on. If your first pick, you pick her first. If your second pick, you pick her first and second. And people do this so that you can't actually expect the enemy to be cleaving you, and also because she's so good into cleave that she can shut down cleave by herself if she evades, because her S2 hits very, very hard. Also, her invincibility can come in clutch if you actually can't win the battle in, one turn, which makes her very good into cleave and with cleave, if that makes sense. Now, before we talk about her artifact, you guys are probably still wondering, what about her secondary set? So her secondary set is going to be best on penetration. Now, obviously her S3 already has built-in penetration, but because it's not 100%, you still get benefit. And with penetration set, her S1 will hit super, super hard. Now, I cannot stress enough how hard her skill 1 actually hits, which is why penetration will be the best. Now, if you don't have access to penetration set, you can actually use probably critical hit chance set, would probably be a good option as well. Even like health set or defense set if you want to build her more bulky. But I would definitely recommend using her on pen set. Immunity set works as well because she has evasion, so you can actually prevent her from being debuffed against units that can cleave like Peyra and like Ran and stuff like that. So very, very annoying to deal with as well. But for the most part, you're going to want to run her on penetration set as your secondary set. Now for Savior Adin's artifact, you have a lot of options. Pretty much all of the evasion artifacts are fine because you do want to have 70% evasion with her artifact. One of the best options will be her own artifact, which you get by unlocking her, and this artifact will give you evasion obviously, and also 25% extra damage against dark units. I would only really recommend this on that destruction set or even like a speed set variant where you're trying to nuke like Apoc Ravi's and Meter Calyx. Otherwise, if you're using her on a lifesteal tankier build, you probably want to opt for a different artifact. Moonlight Dreamblade is probably another really good option because when you do actually dodge with your S2, you'll get that attack buff for yourself before attacking, which will make your S2 hit harder. Shepherd of the Hollow, which is what I'm using, your damage will increase as your health goes down, which makes it very good because if you actually do accidentally get hit by an attack, you'll be able to lifesteal very, very easily because your S1 lifesteal, built-in lifesteal actually will scale with the damage you deal. And also double-edged Decrescent is also very good because after you evade, you have a chance to counterattack, which as you guys know, her S1 has that built-in lifesteal and hits very hard. So I think any of these 4 artifacts are fine. Most likely Shepherd of the Hollow is going to be your best option on lifesteal set. If you're cleaving or you're building her on speed set or destruction set, you're probably going to use her on her own artifact. Really up to you. All of these are good. It doesn't really matter. It's just what you have available. So yeah, overall guys, I think Savior Adin is going to be a very, very important unit to build. She's extremely powerful. You definitely want to actually build her and use her on your account. Very versatile, very strong, probably broken honestly, like overpowered. So definitely want to be using her. She's extremely good for both PvE and PvP. So that's pretty much it for this video though guys. If you guys want to see more videos talking about free-to-play units like this, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below and leave a like, and I'll see you guys next video.